Wednesday the 8th, we have a full body. We have 5, 6, or 7 rounds, only one part. And we have leg lowers with press, swings, devil presses, power clean and press. Okay, so this one is jam-packed. It's probably not gonna be a fan favorite. It necessarily was not one of my favorites. But okay, so leg lower with press. Ooh. Or you can do doesn't really matter. You don't need to worry about the weight so much. Swings. I'll do 2 dumbbells. Devil press. Yuck. This is kind of the equivalent to your half burpee for your devil press. Okay. Power clean and press. These pants are officially getting annoying. Okay, so leg lower with press. So as I was saying, you can do one in each hand, or you can just do one. It's not necessarily so much about the weight. So it's probably easier just to do the one across. So this is like a 10-pound, and I'm just holding it the long way. So what I'm doing is, as I am lowering, I'm pressing, okay? So when my legs lower, the weight goes up. When my legs come in, the weight goes down, okay? So press and lower, return. Press and lower, return, okay? So my legs are not touching the ground. My press is just going up, down, up, down. But what's happening when I have my legs down here and my weight up in the air is it's creating a lot of tension. So this is kind of similar to if you've ever done them, like, I feel like it might have been like a specific sport we used to do this, but you hold on to somebody's ankle. So somebody is standing over you, you're holding on, I think we did it in cheerleading maybe. You're holding on to like their calf ankle area, and they are throwing with their hands your leg down. You have to stop it and come back up. So the person that's standing over you is just doing this, right? Okay, so if you don't know what that is, you're probably so confused. If you've done it before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's similar to that, okay? So having that weight above while you're lowering is actually just adding resistance, so it makes it more difficult, okay? Swings. So swings are best done with kettlebells. If you do not have a kettlebell, which a lot of people don't, which is why I don't show it with one, even though I have one, you're going to use a dumbbell. So your options are either 2 dumbbells or 1. I'm going to show you with 1 just for the purpose of showing you. So I'm going to kind of hold it like this, or however, interlock, like however you can hold on to just the top and swing it without feeling like you're going to let it go, okay? Other option, if you hold 2, is you're just going to hold them the normal way, but you're going to hold them close together, okay? So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to hold 1. So again, you have to be able to hold it nicely by the top. So your swing is very similar to a straight leg deadlift motion, except you have the weight in your hand, and the weight in your hand is swinging. So the weight in your hand is basically doing this motion, but you'll notice that as you swing, you're not really gonna even have to think about moving your arms, because the motion of your body is gonna make your arms swing up. So a lot of people think that this is like an arm exercise, or that it's really not. Your arms are holding the weight, but your body is almost doing this like pendulum motion, which is gonna make the weight swing like this, even if you're not trying, okay? So don't worry too much about, moving your arms. A lot of, it's really all in the hinge and then the thrust, okay? So that's what your swing is consisted of. It's a hinge down and a thrust up, a hinge down and a thrust up, okay? And again, your arms are automatically gonna go with that, so you're not really having to think about swinging your arms. They're just gonna automatically do it as you do this motion, okay? So, to break it down a little bit further, you're gonna be standing about shoulder width apart. You're going to push your hips and your butt backward, not down, but backward. You're gonna have a slight bend in your knees, and your back is gonna naturally fold as your butt goes backward. That is the hinge, okay? It's a hinge motion. So your back is not folding because you're sitting there trying to fold your back. It's folding because your hips are moving backward, okay? So notice how my back is nice and straight. That's where you're gonna hit the bottom part of your swing, and the weight is gonna be between your legs. When you hit the top of your swing, you're gonna stand and squeeze your butt, and your arms are gonna go up. That's the top of your swing. So it goes here to here, here to here, here to here. So when you hit the down part, you should feel your hamstrings, which is the back of your legs, pulling, and your butt. When you stand, you should almost feel a release, and then your butt should squeeze. You also are gonna feel it in your lower back. So it's here, 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 here. It almost honestly sometimes feels like somebody is standing behind you and just doing a slit up the back of each hamstring, and your hamstrings are filleting open. That is what it feels like sometimes, okay? So if you do not feel anything like that, then you know you're not hitting your hamstrings. So that means you're probably not hinging correctly, okay? So the minute that your butt and your hips go backward, it engages your hamstrings, okay? So it engages your hamstrings, you're down here, and then you come up. So you don't wanna come up like this, but you do wanna thrust upward, squeeze your butt, okay? So just like we talked about when we had our hands over our head, you don't wanna be like this. Well, with this, you don't wanna be like this, okay? So you wanna come in, but it should be more of like a thrust forward where you tuck your pelvis in versus a thrust where you throw your back backward, okay? If that makes sense. So instead of thinking about throwing your back like that, think about thrusting forward, okay, instead of going backwards. So here, 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 okay? And definitely practice it just like that without the weight if this is new to you, if you're trying to get the feel of it. And then, like I said, once you add the weight into your hand, it's kind of just a part of it. You're not gonna have to think too much about moving it. It's gonna move as you move, okay? Devil press, the worst. That's why it's called the devil press. So it is very, very, very similar to your burpee, okay? It's got all the same modifications. You can do it half, full, or off of a height, except it's weighted. That's why it's so awful. So what I recommend is putting your weights on the ground. You are supposed to hold them the entire time, but as you saw in my first video where my feet like almost rolled off the weight, these are not true hexagon tops. They have like, I don't know how many flat surfaces. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 large flat surfaces, but then they have all these tiny ones in between. So these tiny ones are what makes it able to roll. If those weren't there, it would be just blocked off and it wouldn't roll. So it depends on what kind of dumbbell you have, but for me, personally, I don't trust them. So instead of holding them the whole time, I keep them on the ground. So this is gonna be your half. Well, I'll show you the full and half. It's gonna be the same difference. So the full, you go all the way. So you're gonna put your hands on the outside of your dumbbells. You're gonna jump out and sink all the way to the ground. So everything's on the ground. Push up into your squat. Grab your weights, put them back between your legs and up over your head. 1. Down, jump to the ground. Jump to your squat, between your legs, overhead. 2. Down, jump to the ground, squat, weights between your legs, up overhead. 3, okay? That is your full devil press. So as you can imagine, it is terrible. Now, your half is just like our half burpee. Hands on the side, jump out into high plank. Jump into your squat, same thing, weights go back and then up. So this is one of the only times where you're actually purposely swinging your weights, okay? Normally, I always tell you don't swing, don't swing. This one, you're purposely swinging through and up, through and up, okay? That's how your devil press goes. So again, half, out to the side, jump to your high plank, jump back into your squat, grab the weights through the legs, up overhead. That's your half, okay? Now, for your off of a height, you cannot do the swing with the chair in the way. So this is gonna turn into, instead of a swing, a clean and press. So your weights are on your chair. You're gonna put your hands on the outside of the weights, on the chair, jump out into high plank, jump in, grab your weights, clean to your shoulders, and press ahead, overhead. Out, in, shoulder press. Out, in, shoulder press, okay? That's gonna be your simplest version of a devil press. And then we have our power clean and press. I don't know why I made this one so hard. It's really not enjoyable, but it's gonna build your mental toughness. That's why we do these things. So, power clean and press. So, what I just was demonstrating was basically a clean and press. So what that is shoulder press. Shoulder press, okay? Now, your clean to get from your side to your shoulder is a shrug and flip motion, okay? So do not muscle it up like this. Do not do a hammer curl. It's a shrug and flip to your shoulder, press above head, down. Shrug and flip to your shoulder, press overhead, down, okay? Now, because it's power, that means it's coming from the floor. So normally if we start at our sides and we go up, that is from the hang because it's hanging, okay? Power means from the ground. So it's gonna look like this. 1, 2, 3, okay? So you're basically squatting down with the weights to touch the ground, then you're shrugging and flipping, press, 1, down, shrug and flip, press, 2, down, shrug and flip, press, 3, okay? So power means that you're coming from the ground up, okay? So it's just a little bit more intense than a normal clean and press.